Hey Tim, it's good having you here on Slow Twitch.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How was the New Year's?
It was pretty good, actually. After spending Christmas in Belgium, the chance to spend New Year's at home and actually have a little bit of time in one spot's been nice.
Are you actually able to stay up all night, or are you a lightweight?
After not being able to do that for so many years, this year we actually made it to like 12:20 and
It's
finally shut it down. But I was still in Euro time, so I've been going to bed at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night and waking up at 5. So New Year's was a struggle for sure.
when did you actually come back from Europe?
I got back on the 27th. So the last World Cup was in Zolder on the 26th, and then just jumped on a plane, flew home.
But I noticed on Twitter that you've been following the other races, I guess via Sporza.
Via any pirated internet stream available. I think we have some very skilled fans that can find any kind of a stream anywhere. And a site like Cycling Fans or Cyclocross Live or any of the other ones, you can kind of find something to watch. And it is motivating to sit there and watch a race and then realize that, okay, I got to go to work now. I got to go train myself.
Yeah, but typically, actually, I think the timing of these races is such where it can easily, number one, they're short. It's just an hour, and so it's not like it can interrupt your training forever.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I mean, you make another cup of coffee midway through the race, and then before you know it, you're outside and freezing your own ass off.
And I think just as you left Europe, it became really muddy. Those last couple of races have been crazy muddy.
I mean, you watch that on TV or you watch it on the internet, and you realize, or you think you know what you're watching, but after having done a lot of those races, it's really hard to describe just how sketchy some of the downhills are, just how deep and slow the mud is in reality, but how fast some of those guys make it look. But you watch a race like yesterday in Ball, they were going so hard and so slow that if they were going that slow, then any civilian would have just been your death from the very start. It's
Yeah.
crazy how hard they are.
No, it's. I think it's if you've never been there and seen it in person, it's really tough to appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
And
no doubt.
and it's one thing for to watch it versus being actually in it and doing it.
Actually, it's one of the lessons that I learned a long time ago is that if I rewatch a race that I was just in, I have to remind myself that everybody makes mistakes and no one really makes it look pretty. So when I'm actually out there racing and I mess up a corner or the dismount kind of goes wrong, or if I'm in a section that's so hard and I just can't quite do it right, I can't be too hard on myself because I know I'm just going to watch the race again. I'm going to watch the highlights and see, oh shit, everybody had a hard time on that section. Or, I wasn't the only one who felt like I was going nowhere at that particular time because everyone was having the same problem. And even the best guys they're not perfect out there either.
Absolutely. So, what's going on for you? You go to Chicago next?
Yeah, going to Chicago on Friday, racing Saturday, Sunday, and then final week of prep before nationals. And then it's only 2 weeks to Worlds. So, this whole time, two and a half years ago when they announced that Louisville was going to get Worlds, it seemed really far away. 2013 seemed like this whole different era, and now to be less than a month away is just it's a little bit of a shock, but I feel like things are basically on schedule.
So, what's the weather? What are the weather conditions for the next couple of days in Chicago and then Wisconsin? Do you know any?
Yeah, just cold and nasty. We've had snow here at home. I've been riding in the snow. I know Chicago got what, a foot of snow maybe 10 days ago. Madison got almost 2 feet of snow 10 days ago. So I know we'll be dealing with that this weekend, and then nationals. Who knows? It could be a whole nother storm, but at the very least, I know it's going to be really cold, and it's my little kit of undershirts that I carry with me at all times. I've got this bag with every kind of undershirt ever made, just in case. I mean, that's really like the one piece of clothing that you really need to have options with. I know I'm going to be using that bag a lot.
Talking about Louisville, Louisville, as that is end of January. Do you think for Americans or North Americans in general, this will be very different to finally have home court advantage?
It's going to be that's going to be huge, and it's going to be worth a lot. But I just don't know. You know, it's like you go into a race of that importance and that special to who we are and where we are, and all you really want is the things to go as as good as they can possibly go. But you also have to kind of hope that something special is going to happen, and if that's because it is at home, and something might not affect us as it might affect someone who's traveling here, then that's something we just have to hope for. But I know definitely that after going overseas for Worlds all these years, it'll at least be the easiest Worlds to get to. I'll be in Louisville for a couple weeks before that race, so for me it'll just be like driving across town. That's about it.
That sounds great. Hey, let's talk about your bike. I took pictures of it in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Has much of it changed since we saw you in Las Vegas?
Yeah. Actually, let's see. You saw we had the new brakes by then, the new mechanical.
Mechanical discs. That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah. But they were the SLs, which are the new ones. But since then, I'm on the hydraulic stuff now. So that's knocked another couple 100 grams off the bike. We have new tires. We have these new Dugas small birds, which are, if you saw the tread pattern, it just looks like a ton of tiny little knobs, but it's dual compound, so the center ones are much harder. So even though they're smaller, they're more effective, but then the sides are kind of like a mud tire on the side. So you get the turning control that you want, but you also get the speed by having the smaller knobs. So, for us, tires are so important. Tire pressure is, another huge thing, but tires are really where it's all at.
Go back to the hydraulics.
Yep.
How different do the hydraulics feel from the mechanicals?
So I've had people come up and grab my bike or stand next to my bike and kind of look at it for a while, and I'm no, just try it. Just grab the brakes and squeeze it. And with the mechanical, people notice very quickly how easily, how little it takes to actually pull the brake in and how quickly it responds. And my hydraulics are even better. It's the feel is like the way the hydraulics work are both sides of the actual of the
caliper.
Yeah, the caliper. I'm sorry. Both sides of the caliper move in independently at the same distance instead of one moving against the other. So that feel is better right away. So the lever feel is a lot different. Now I have true one finger braking, which is always something that I was kind of hoping for with the mechanical, and I've been able to get it pretty consistently. But with the hydraulic, I get it all the time.
Excellent. So, do you think there'll be moved to more hydraulics on the road as well, or do you think that's maybe too gimmicky yet?
No, you're going to see it pretty soon. I've been able to see a lot of different things and approaches to what braking is going to be like on a bike in the future. And it's not exactly like reading a Popular Mechanics article of 30 years in the future, this is what we're going to see. But it's consistent. It works great. It works really well. The hydraulic stuff, any of us that have a mountain bike at home, at least for me, I use my mountain bike, I hang it up, I pull it off the rack, and I go ride it again. And the hydraulic braking is always great, and it's always there. So I think with cross bikes, people have gotten so used to having terrible brakes, then now that the brakes are actually better with mechanical disc, it's a whole nother step up with hydraulic because it is just that much easier to get and to have that feel all the time.
Last question before we let you go is, yeah, I actually agree with you about the hydraulics, but on a kind of slightly unrelated topic, you run, you bike. How much swimming do you get in?
I swim. How much do I swim? Really?
Yes. And we're not talking about a mud pit. I mean, we're talking about swimming.
I have actually never done a swim workout. an actual swim workout. My wife Lynn did a few Ironmans and it was in really intense triathlon training for a long time. But I never went. Actually, I don't even know that I would consider myself a good swimmer. I grew up in a pond and a lake and a river. I could swim all day long with my friends. I could snorkel forever. I could dive down deep, the whole thing, but I don't think I could ever handle doing laps in a pool. It's just something that I need to learn, I think. I need to be taught how to do it.
That sounds great. But hey, meanwhile, we wish you an awesome time in Chicago and in Wisconsin and of course in Louisville, and we'll see you actually there.
Yeah, please, everybody, take a minute and watch what's happening in Louisville. It's going to be the first time we've ever had Worlds out of Europe, and we want to see all of us, everyone watching as much as we possibly can.
All right, see you. Bye bye.
Cool, thanks.